Alright, everybody. So I had a fun idea for something to try. Hopefully it'll be interesting. We'll see. So, lot of news about this Epstein fellow lately. So, I had an interesting idea because of something that somebody sent me about. It was a claim that members of the vampire community were implicated in the Epstein Files, and they, of course, there were no links, no screenshots, no way to identify where they were getting this from. So I decided it might be fun to see if we can like dig into the Epstein Files and see if there are any vampires in here. Real vampire community vampires or otherwise. So that being the case, let's switch over here. So I have I have the U.S. Department of Justice, the Epstein Library open here, and let's move that over there. So are you 18 years of age or older? Yeah, last I checked, I was. And then, all right. So, if anybody hasn't tried this out yet, basically you go to the Department of Justice's website, Epstein Library, and then you basically search. I'm not sure there's any way to just like. Yeah, I don't know if there's any way to just like look at all like 3 million or however many of these files there are. You have to search a specific word, right, or phrase, I guess. Let's see. Portions of the documents may not be electronically searchable or may produce unreliable search results because some of it, like, I'm assuming that they use like OCR technology to I don't know, make this stuff searchable, and as we all know, like, that's not always perfect. But anyway, let's get down to it. So I was thinking, first of all, let's look for anything related to vampire with a Y, since that's how most people in the community refer to themselves now. So yeah, I thought we would start out with vampire with a Y. So let's see what happens here when we hit search. All right. So we have 20 results. All right, let's check this out. Say narrows much effort. Study of a man from behind. All right, so it looks like these are It looks like these are like some kind of expense reports and. Unrealized low to high. Sotheby's. Alright, so yeah, this looks like this was a Sotheby's auction sheet. And I'm going to assume that, so Edvard Munch, I'm pretty sure, was an artist. So I'm going to assume these are all like Sotheby's listings for art pieces. Okay, here we go. Let's check this one out. What's this one? Alright, so failure planning, optimism on Egypt. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I don't care about any of that. Let's just get straight to it. Alright, here we go. Climatologists blame the Mount Pinatubo for flood on this comparison to all those overcast days, those for Mary Shelley, John William Paul already spent much of their Swiss summer holiday indoors, jump-starting the creation of Frankenstein and the vampire. Okay, so this was, what is this paper about? It's a foreign policy article about looking at some radical options to save our planet. Alright, so it mentions Polidori's the vampire. It's spelled with a Y, obviously. But nothing to really do with, like, you know, the community. Again, we have another Edvard Munch. Yeah, Edvard Munch, Vampire 2. Looks like this is the, okay. Alright, well that's it's been appraised at $1,200,000. If anybody is interested in auctioning it, I mean, this was apparently appraised in 2016. So if anybody's interested in purchasing that portrait or painting, then yeah. So yeah, pretty much all these are. There's this one weird reference to Polidori's story, and then everything else seems to be listings for Munch painting. But let's check out page 2. Again, Munch painting. The same thing about Polidori's story. Munch, and then Polidori. So yeah, no, these are not related to what we're looking for. So again, if you don't know, the thing about this library is, so I guess Epstein just got like periodicals and news reports and like news aggregate from like everybody, right? So there's a lot of stuff in here that is just plain old boring and mundane. That's why it's taken people so long to like sift through it to find the good parts, or I should say the really salacious parts. None of it's that I've seen is actually very good. But the really like the incriminating stuff that he's sort of like known or accused of. So there's just a lot of like, you may as well just say junk mail in here. But because it was related to his email, they have it in the library. So I kind of think that that's on purpose because it does make it very hard to search for anything of meaning. But let's continue. So we're gonna try spelling vampire with an I, which is the modern colloquial way of spelling it, the most widespread way of spelling it. So let's hit search on that. All right, we got 40 results. All right, well, let's check this out. So this is seduced by vampire billionaire. Seduced by the vampire billionaire. So this right here, I'm pretty sure is like an average. Yeah, this is an advertisement for what looks to be like romance novels. Like again, there's a ton of garbage in here. Like there's a ton of garbage in here, like a ton. So yeah, this is again, this is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. This is the Fandango. Like advertise, so like buy movie tickets, right? We have, this is, what is this? So here's an email, Vampire Noir Cash Flow. So this seems to be a solicitation for some sort of financing for a film or something called Vampire Noir. So it's a financing thing. Epstein was a finance guy. Like, it doesn't surprise me people were trying to get him to pay for their movies or plays or whatever that happened to be. Let's see. We have a Daily Mail Science Tech article about vampire suns, binary stars. Movie, I will send you a script. Saturday, like the vampire. Let's see what this is. Press release about you and Mike Bloomberg's schools. You came off as a socially responsible citizen seeking to do good in a classic Jewish civic tradition, which I admire. I hope your colleagues like the vampire. Let me know. Might we talk on the weekend on Saturday at your convenience? Hope all is well. I will send you a final version of the Stravinsky Nabokov essay. So, this being capitalized, I'm wondering if this isn't more talk about some kind of movie. That's something about Vampire Diaries, so we don't care about that. Let's just look at this. Okay, so here's more of the email chain for public Apple. Okay, let's go back. Most of this stuff is incredibly boring. Again, the same email. And a lot of it's duplicate, believe it or not. There's a ton of... So yeah, nothing terribly salacious here. I can only assume that they're talking about some work of fiction. So let's go to the next page. Let's skim some of this, see if we can find. So this is the same old Vampire Billionaire series. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, Vampire Noir. Again, these are duplicate. The movie, I will send you the script and final plan for the Vampire. I hope your colleagues like the Vampire. Let me know. Seems like this is like a movie pitch. And this is a Vampire Diaries advertisement. Beautiful hero joins breakneck action on Eric Brooks. So this is talking about Blade, Summer of Heroes. Yeah, Last Action Hero. This is this is from Crackle. It's like an advertisement for Crackle is like a, I want to say it's like a movie subscription service, if I remember correctly, or movie TV show. Vampire Noir, Ian Somerhalder, Vampire Diaries. Thirst is a vampire movie with intellectual heft. Not the vampire. So Abraham Lincoln. So alright, so this might be interesting. This has got Steve Bannon in it. So let's see what this is about. This looks like a text message exchange. At least get your blood taken. 15 minutes. Next few months you will need your energy and stamina. No reason not to prepare. I know I have to do this. I am encouraging you to get from knowing to doing. You sound sometimes like my blessed departed mother. Self-organizing systems, revolutions start with knowing. Discipline separates out the winners from the hopefuls. Seriously, no excuses. You are important in many ways, no more though than to yourself. Sorry to be a nooge. Especially a PSA test. Can I do this tomorrow afternoon? Time. And so we are clear, the reasons are only to catch things early if need be. Often waiting is a good thing as you have more info. However, in biology you don't want to wait until it's now too late to stop. Agree, although I'm an idiot and superstitious about all this. I'm aware, and I don't trust any doctors or lawyers any. However, one of the advantages of the global elite is that they live longer. No worry, you can be dark and still prefer to live. Call Bernie on his cell directly to set, and they probably should redact that number. Thanks. Bernie last name. Kruger. So yeah, now we have Bernie Kruger's phone number, who's presumably a doctor. I don't know. As you might imagine, I believe in top-down economics. Without you at the top, there is no movement. Zero. When you say departed, I think of Scorsese, not your mother. LOL. Alternatively, if you take a trip to Palm Beach, all blood surgery can be done. My head of Mayo Clinic, a good friend. Reminder, money, medicine, law, Jews only. Okay. I've only had Jewish doctors and lawyers since leaving the Navy. According to Steve. This is Steve Bannon saying this. And then this person's redacted. But it must, I don't know. Bernie not available until Wednesday, though I'm sure we can organize to drain you of some of that vampire blood. So I'm going to assume that this is a jab at Steve Bannon being a ghoul. Because I don't know if you know anything about Steve Bannon, but I'm not going to get into it. But you can Google him on your own time. But he's quite the controversial figure. But I'm assuming that this must be a joke. Not blood, ice water that boils on contact. Bill Burke was circumcised. Though I'm sure he feels as if he's still undergoing the procedure. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And then, do you want to go to Venice Film Festival? Should we try for a Europe trip around then? Yes. Cool. Are you around next Wednesday Eve or anytime Thursday? No, DC, K, Jarrett next up to bat. Wonder who that is. Then we got a random telephone number. Give me 2 minutes, we'll call back. Sent you interesting email. Who's that from? Call one free, unlimited money. It's not that I know you better than your ex-wives. It's I know the exact tactics that I use to no avail. We are getting there. Zeno's paradox. If I throw a ball at the wall, when it's traveled halfway, it still has half the distance to travel. As it continues, the fraction left to travel continues, i.e. 1/4 to go, 1/8 to go, 1/16 to go, etc. Since the denominator of the distance continues to double, I'm thinking mathematically speaking, the ball never reaches the wall. Okay, that's weird, but alright. So that's about the weirdest thing that we've gotten so far from just searching vampire. Let's see. African rock to the Western world. Or okay, that's bank, standby power, sometimes called vampire power. With Gaddafi, until now everybody felt that so his body almost might come back like a vampire. So this, okay, so this is a New York Times article about, I'm assuming when Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown, to put it nicely. And then, so this is in reference to, like, until everybody saw his body, they thought he might come back like a vampire. So not terribly relevant to what we're doing. This is Giffray versus Maxwell. That might be interesting. Let's look at that. Page not found. Wow, how convenient. So yeah, see, sometimes you're gonna run into this stuff too if you start searching this. To vampire blood from Y, and it's page not found. So I can't do anything about that. That might be something interesting, but of course it's gone. Alright, and then this is Palm Beach offenders. This is Palm Beach Post. Jeffrey Epstein victim says in lawsuit she was recruited. So this is a Palm Beach Post article. And I'm not sure anything is searchable. It's kind of searchable. This is about when he was, looks like that was about the so-called sweetheart deal. If you're not familiar with how Mr. Epstein became an offender legally in the first place, it looks like this is copies of news articles related to that. Freedom rings for creepy bizman Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, I mean, this is, you can look this up. This is not anything new. This is all, this is pretty well known. This happened, when this happened, 20... Yes, this was posted in 2009. I want to say he was convicted in 07. Sounds right. I don't know. But yeah, that's nothing new. With it being Palm Beach, I wonder if that's to be released at dawn. Local vampire to be released at dawn. Wonder if it's like an advertisement for something, but I couldn't find it in that article. But if anybody wants to go look, this is the PDF. More about Gaddafi. 50 win vampire BDSM soap opera. So a lot of this has been redacted. It looks like yeah, redacted. Not sure what this is. Looks like a magazine article. Yeah, that's a magazine article. We're gonna have to blur that. Yeah, this is a porno mag. Yeah, this is a yeah, I'm gonna have to blur all of this. The redacted. They redacted a lot of stuff themselves, but I'm gonna have to redact even more because I'm just gonna have to. Like, there's no actual nudity, but there's a lot of, yeah. This is what we used to call a nudie mag. Let's see what else we have here. Vampire Hunter, which he's about to shoot. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Forced to pay for the restoration of their character's soul after it's supposed to have been bitten by a vampire. Whoops. Let's open that. Whoops, nope. Let's see if I can hit the right thing this time. So this is a magazine article. And this is a reference talking about Second Life scam. Second Life scam. Okay, so completely unrelated. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Squid era, Goldman Sachs. So that's talking about a guy named Lloyd Blankfein. That's a whole other thing, but you can Google him on your own time. But he's not actually a vampire. He's just a Wall Street guy. Abraham Lincoln, vampire hunter. Bowie starred in The Hunger, a visionist vampire film. So a lot of there's a couple interesting things in here, but this is all not all of it, but a lot of it is mostly related to movies, films, paintings. So something we might try to do as well, and I'm sure this is going to generate like 1 trillion results, but let's try this one, because this is what everybody's here for, right? This is what everybody expects. So yeah, we got 5,227 results for blood, right? Now, I don't have time, and neither do you, to go through 5,000 results, especially when a lot of this is like life-saving blood cancer research, a few tips to get going with your new blood pressure monitor, like read blood work script. What does JE want to walk? Appointment for the blood work. Like, it's such a broad thing. And again, this is another one of those things where like there could be a lot of like juicy stuff hiding in here, but you're gonna have to sort through thousands and thousands of results of trash that don't have anything to do with anything. But let's try this. Okay. Alright, so this is interesting. So we just put in blood drinking, we get 2 results, right? This one is the Gouffre versus Maxwell. So Virginia Gouffre versus Ghislaine Maxwell. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It was a pretty big thing. How much you want to bet that this one is not available? How much you want to bet this is like the last PDF related to this case and it doesn't open? Oh, what do you know? Jeez. That's weird. But let's read what it's got here. A New Earth, birth of a New Earth radio, birth of a New Earth TV show, birth certificates, birth trauma, bisphenol A, black magic, blindness, blood drinking, blood rituals, blood transfusions, bluefin tuna, body parts for sale, bondage, bonding. And then a blog spot, Prince Andrew could have been secretly, birth of an Earth blog spot. So that might be interesting to look at. You guys want to go check that out? No thoughts came of the blood drinking. No thought of violence to back in those want cruelty in a male heart. Let's check this out first before we try to go to that blog spot. This is subject to protective order, paragraph 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 17. Ghislaine Maxwell. So she, I guess, so this is to her while she's in prison? Is this new? What's the date on this? Oh, okay, here we go. Alright, this might be juicy. What is the date on that? I can't see it. Does that say 30th March? It kind of looks like a 21. The postmark on the stamp there. Enhance. There's no I can't highlight it. So it looks a lot like March 2021. Which, was she in prison by then? She may have been in prison by then. I'm not sure. Anyway, this could be interesting. Let's skip to this. Let's see. All right. Hi, my name is David Grisette. or Grisetti. I don't know how he pronounces it. I'm probably nobody to you. I'm nobody to a lot of people. You, to me, may be a very bad person. I don't know. I've never met you. But you are on your way to crucifixion, and you could probably use someone to talk to write to have visit. I want you to know I'm real. I have a case in the Southern District of New York. Not gonna read that, but I guess we could look that up maybe. I was apprehended at 30 Rockefeller Plaza on 9/25/2019 while looking for a man named Norman H. Zivin. Just to ask questions, just to find answers. I'm sorry I just switched in all caps. I didn't mean to yell. I hope you're not offended, but I'm not sure if this is worth going back and using another sheet of paper. I just put a hold on a book by H.P. Lovecraft called The Thing on the Doorstep. Have you read it? I found it from reading another story. A story about a very old French who I suspect failed to read it due to hubris, and this shit caused a lot of grief. I don't know what that word is. If you in fact read this, I've gone through a lot of trouble to find out how to reach you. I hope you allow me to help. Poor T. Look up, walk backwards, and be well. And then I'm assuming this is his sign off, which is redacted. P.S. Please let me know exactly how you'd like to be addressed. Sir, ma'am, Mr., Ms., Mrs., you get the idea. And then that's the envelope. Oh, we got another one. And this is from April. Okay, so we are in 2021. This is from April. Alright, cool. Miss Maxwell, is this your doing? Put gods in them. May they pray for a lifetime. Hold tight. I'll try for a P.O. box for you once I've returned from Baltimore. And feel free to show me a sign. Look up, walk backwards, and be well. What is this look up, walk backwards stuff? I feel like I've read that before somewhere. If anybody knows, let me know. He's got a caduceus here. Gets associate likely to strike plea deal with prosecutors in trafficking case. Ooh, suspected connecting Connors from the women with whom he is. So there's a news article about Matt Getz apparently, and then yeah, so that's. Okay, more from Washington Post. So it looks like he's mailed her a printout of this article. Now we are again on the 10th of April. And this is blank. I wonder if he sent... Oh, here we go. Inmate receives 8/19/2021, West Palm Beach. Hi, I've been writing you by USPS. Have you received my letters? They're weird, I know. I've heard that word my entire life. It's upset me often, but I'm starting to familiarize myself with the half of the word I didn't realize I missed. The temperature dropped today or last night. Do you feel it where you're at? Where I'm at, I'm also watching many studio cameras against the sidewalks. None of the folks in the crew that I spoke to this morning seemed to know Dionysus, yet there they were willing to do the work. I pray that you're safe. I pray that you're sound. Look up, walk backwards, and be well. Okay. Alright, neat. We've got, man, this goes on for a while. Good day. The weather is warm again and the cameras are gone. It'd be weird to think that the two went hand in hand. This is at one of the many lethal chambers throughout the city that I'm acquainting myself with. I have to say I've lived a life of complete ignorance. Such ignorance I was banished many a times through myself and didn't even know my only option was to either become Caesar or die. I need your help and I want to help you. Look up, walk backwards, and be well. Kraken. Okay, so is this David Grisette guy going by Kraken now? That's interesting. And then there's a photograph. I wonder if this is him. Man, he wrote her a lot of letters in April 21. Pending. Okay. Pending. Okay, looks like a photocopy. Bookmark, a book. The mission has nothing to do finally with chastity. Married to no one but Christ. What in the world? Is this... Is this, Claudia's... Is this Memnoch the Devil by Anne Rice? It seems familiar. I read Memnoch like a long time ago. This is consistent with the theme of the book. And then the mentions of David. And then Claudia being dead. Spoiler alert. So carefully. No, this is Tale of the Body Thief. Pretty sure this is Tale of the Body Thief. Or maybe I'm mistaken. Be up to New Orleans. I'm almost certain that this is Rice, and given like that it's a love scene, probably Tale of the Body Thief. If you haven't read that one, it's I won't spoil it, but yeah, that's probably what that one is. I don't know why he's well, I kind of know why he's photocopied it and sent it to her, because he's... Yeah. There are horrors beyond life's edge that we do not suspect nor expect, and once in a wild man's prying calls them with our range. The thing on the doorstep. Weirdo. Yeah, he's definitely a weirdo. From The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. Ghislaine. I obviously try to practice not hating. In fact, I believe one will do more damage to thy enemies by removing hate from the emotional spectrum. I digress. I do not like hearing native New Yorker. I'm not sure where you're from. I really don't know much about you. I know your name, but even still find myself starting with Maxwell and not Ghislaine. To be more honest, I may be spelling it wrong. This is the first time I write to you without turning to research to address you. I bet you get a lot of mail from hateful folks with an X. That's why I'm here. This letter is there, and I'm trying so hard to get your attention. IDK, I obviously have my own agenda, but I'm not going to say. I pray, however, withstanding, if you decide to let me in, to do whatever I can to fix or forgive, repair, move you past whatever threshold you need. I speak friend, no matter what you've done and how recent. Do you have access to a library? Are you well? Are you okay? Are you alright? Do you need anything? Is there anything I can do for you? Are you safe? Is there anyone you require to hear from, require to see? I'm not a cop. I'm not a reporter, journalist, or getting paid anyway to reach out to you. My hands are clean, and they will stay that way. From what other people are saying, you need an ace, a rabbit in the hole. Please let me make sure your lawyers aren't your last opportunity. Help me take out the trash, please. Help me open the chambers. Let's allow the world to reconnect itself. I want to help you move on, no matter the direction, in peace with integrity. You're Kraken, the White Rabbit, they're QAnon. This is for you and you only. Redacted. Man, this guy was chatty. After I sent my most recent letter, fireworks went off that seemed to put the folks in charge of the sirens in a bit of a kerfuffle. Weird. Thoroughly enjoyed fireworks, especially citizen-used fireworks. See the dynamics of Brooklyn are changing, and the bandit first hits, paying a tax every time at the grocery store. Now watch buzzards try to pick fights with soda vendors as they tirelessly try to take in their deliveries. NYPD are spending more time around the MTA gates, but they do appear to be friendlier. Yoga Studios training to bodegas. So many new bodegas, which means new neighbors. It's weird to think the Matrix is so tightly locked that a landlord can almost account for the money to be had just from the promise of one's presence. Two men that were standing around in a store practically fought each other. Help her reach with a top shelf item. Alright, hang on. Let's just... Okay, here we go. We're just gonna bust that out. No thoughts came to me of the... Okay, yeah, this is... This is definitely Tale of the Body Thief. So, yeah. So it looks like all of the... Yeah, so... It looks like all references to blood in these very strange letters are because this guy decided to photocopy Tale of the Body Thief, or at least parts of Tale of the Body Thief, about trysts with I think a female assassin. It's been a long time since I've read that book as well. He decided to photocopy that into here. And Mary Easter prays to Athena. Looks like this guy is probably just yeah, this guy, he's one of those he's one of these guys that likes to write people in prison, and he may not be all the way there. The look up, walk backwards, be well stuff is cryptic. I'm not the it's almost like why does that stick in my head? I feel like I've read something like this before. I don't know if it was like Crowley, Thelema, maybe it's reminding me of like Crossing the Threshold type stuff, but I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on it. But it's definitely cryptic and in line with that. Oh, and the character, the character recognition actually worked on it. That's cool. Look up, walk backwards, be well. Alright, this was sent on... So this was sent in May. So he sent all of these letters between March and May. So yeah, that's interesting, I guess. So aside from an excerpt from an Anne Rice novel, there's nothing as obvious as blood drinking in the Epstein library as of right now. So yeah, I want to do some digging on this blog spot, and I might make another video about that. You know what? To hell with it. Let's try it out. Because the file doesn't exist. And site can't be reached. Alright, that's fine. Well, let's search through here. No URL. Alright, let's try this one. Birth of a New Earth. That's from January 1. Alright, well let's search that. See if this comes up. See what we can get here, if anything. No URLs. Alright, well, so that is also a dead end, which is suspicious. So, site can't be reached. The file has been removed. Page not found. So yeah, if anybody out there who is a little bit better at this kind of thing than me wants to try to search for this Birth of a New Earth blog spot, feel free, but it looks like kind of like all of these I wonder if it's like a like one of those old conspiracy blogs, because it does have a lot of the buzzwords. So yeah, but that's as far as I can go, because it's busted. The PDF doesn't work, and I can't find the web page on the Wayback Machine. So we'll have to stop there. But to answer the question that we started off with, it doesn't look like there's any reference to the vampire community in the Epstein library. It doesn't look like there's any references to actual, like, real-life vampires in the Epstein library, and there are very, very few references to blood drinking at all in the Epstein library. The only one that I can access to is a guy who photocopied portions of an Anne Rice novel and mailed it to Ghislaine Maxwell while she was in prison. That's what this PDF right here is, if anybody wants to check it out on their own. This one, however, is the one I'm interested in. And this one is the one that is not available. But it is in the Gouffre versus Maxwell. So I wonder if someone were to look up that case, if it may have been submitted as evidence. Maybe something to look into. But yeah. As of right now, I don't think that Epstein had any ties to the real life vampire community. I think that the claim that was forwarded to me is pretty much debunked. So yeah, I might do a little searching into this Gouffre versus Maxwell thing though. But all right, so follow up to what I had said previously. So I was able to actually track this down. What I did was I copied this case number, because this is a case number, into Google public record, and I was able to find that this is how I found out that this is actually a real case number. So then what I did was I went to the Department of Justice and actually searched for the court. Well, I went to Google and searched for it, and it gives you a redacted v. Maxwell, but it's the same court number, right? It just redacts Virginia Jeffrey's name, right? So then after searching through like a trillion pages and control Fing, I was able to actually find this exact PDF that was apparently removed from the previous one. So this is 73 pages, and it is a composite exhibit, which is, it's like 10 articles, and so it's looks like it was directly. So this is Buckingham Palace, Prince Andrew. It looks like it's allegations to Prince Andrew. So yeah, let's see. We're just gonna search the article for blood real quick, since that's what brought us to it anyway. Some medical belief disturbance, aristocratic blood is blue, and therefore it's probably very saleable for those who can afford. So this is from an article. Let's go down here. They're stealing your baby's cord blood. So this is a post from Birth of a New Earth. Okay, so like I was saying, it's probably a like a conspiracy-oriented blog. It's got something about, so here we go, Obama, Monsanto, retired vaccine researcher says, if I had a child now, last thing I would allow is vaccinations. It is a conspiracy blog, so, which is fine. As we all know, a lot of conspiracy theories were proven to be more than theory in the last couple of years. But yeah, so something about cord blood. Let's see what else we got. Luciferian scientists want to vampire blood from Y. Let's see. As I hear the baby screams, it's okay. This is something about circumcision. Okay, so that's I'll leave that for somebody else to unpack. And then this here is labels. So yeah, this is part of a list of labels. So blood drinking and blood transfusions. So we got a bunch of stuff about CIA. That one's upside down. They scanned it wrong. Yeah, this is a bunch of articles from a conspiracy blog, which we're getting way off into the weeds with this. So if anybody else wants to pick through this exhibit, then yeah, if anybody wants to pick through this exhibit, that's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. If you Google the specific case, if you Google this specifically, you will get a link to the Department of Justice redacted v. Maxwell. It's the exact same case number. You go here, you have to go to page 54 to find the specific PDF, and then you can peruse this at your leisure. But that's the one that comes up when you search the Epstein library for blood drinking. But it looks like it's a link to a bunch of articles about Prince Andrew and then a conspiracy blog. And yeah, I thought you might want to check that out. So once again, I appreciate everybody that bothered to watch, and I'll see you next time with something else. Thanks.